Hello coders, welcome back to our JavaScript for Beginners series. In this episode, we are going to explore how JavaScript can manage storage in the browser through cookies, local storage, and session storage. So let's get started. So cookies, local storage, and session storage are methods used to store data on the client side, which is the browser. Like each has its own use cases. So for now, we will start with cookies. Before that, we will create a new HTML file. All right, and then we will create a document and then say that okay, storage, let's say check if it's working. And we'll go live. All right, so yeah, that's working. So we can access the cookies or we can create a cookie. So whenever I think you are already familiar with the name cookie. So whenever you go to a website, you can see that okay, accept cookies and everything. And when you go through the privacy policies, you can see all the data that have been collected about you, and then what are the data is being tracked about you, and everything will be there in the cookie. So each of the cookie will have certain data, like small pieces of data stored by the browser that are originally designed for server reading. So like the server and the browser is continuously contacting with and like are in communication with each other, right? So they want to understand which user is actually trying to get the data, and then what exactly the user is part of, which is he an admin or is he a normal user, what he needed exactly, like what are the authentication like parameters he has, and what permissions he has to access the certain data sets and everything. So these are all stored in the cookie. So for now, we will understand how we can access that cookie from the browser, from the JavaScript. So cookie can be created, read, and deleted using JavaScript itself. So again, for that to access, we will know how to create a cookie. So we will say document.cookie, and then we'll say that okay, for this particular username, I'm gonna call username as John, and then say that okay, for this particular username, the cookie actually expires on a certain date, right? So instead of for now you have to give a date in a certain format. I will get the date from JavaScript itself. So I will say const time equal to new date. So date is a library that's provided by JavaScript itself. And if you remember the new keyword, it actually constructs this particular date and then give you the current time of the browser. So if you look at the browser, you can see the current time, right? So I'm going to do time dot, and time has, and this date particularly has certain functions that will support. And those functions are as follows. You can explore all these functions and check what are the different outputs it gives you. For now, for this episode, I will get the to GMT string value. All right. And then I will take this, and now I have it. So I will say that, okay, this particular value is the expiry date of this user. So this value is current time. I will set this to, let's say, 31st of December. Okay. Now I have set up the cookie. So once you, and then you also have to mention that which path. So in this case, I will say it's in the root path. So wherever it is, I will say, okay, this is where the cookie needs to live. And then when you press enter, and then if you check if it's there or not, what you will see is console.log document.cookie. As you can see, the username is there, and then check if it's actually there in the application cookies. All right. So here, as you can see, the value is there, username, John Doe, and then the, wait. So if I go to the doc mode, and then which domain is actually part of, and then what is the path you have set, and when is it going to expire. So as you can see, it's going to expire on December 31st. All right. So this value is being stored in the cookie part. Now let's go back to the code and then check how we can delete the cookie. So the cookie is basically identified using the username that we have set so far. So if you want to get rid of the cookie, you will just say document.cookie and then username equal to empty, and you set the expire date as some random date or before date, or any date you want as you prefer, right? So copy that and then say that 21st May, and then you give the same parameters. Now if you look at it, if you go to the application tab, then go to the cookies, you can see there is no cookie present, right? So in the beginning it has been set, and then after, like on the next line, we have deleted it, so it's gone from the cookie tab. So this is how you set a cookie, read a cookie, and then delete the cookie. All right. So cookie has a limitation of 4 kilobytes as the maximum amount of storage you can store. So that's more than enough for the basic necessities that we do to communicate with the server. So most of the time we only store cookie values as like what are the authentication token and what are the permissions he has, those kind of stuff only. And then maybe we'll also store the ad based on the ad preferences of the particular user. So that can also be seen in this cookie tab. So if you want to look at like when you are accessing a particular website, like your social media website, if you want to see what are being tracked, like what are the cookies that are being sent to the server, you can go ahead and go to the application tab and then go to cookies, and then you can see what are the cookies, what are the different types of cookies that's being sent to the website. So most of the time it will be some certain codes which you won't be able to understand unless you have the access to the backend and what exactly is being done with that particular code. So most of the time it's going to be your ad preferences and then like your authentication token. That's most likely the value of cookies over here. And now let's discuss about local storage. So what local storage allows us to do that it will store the data without any expiration date. So if you look at the cookie, it actually have an expiry date and it's mandatory for it to be there. So for local storage, there is no expiration date, and even if you close the browser, it will persist over there. So what do you mean by that is, like, I can show you an example. Let's say you are going to create a local storage item. So local storage can be accessed using the keyword local storage. And then I'm going to say local storage set item. And then I'll say the current logged in username as John. And then if you want to access that particular local storage value, then you can do local storage dot get item username. Then you can see the value over here. So the same can be viewed also in the local storage tab over here in the application. So if you go to local storage and then if you go to your website, you can see the username as John over here. And if you want to delete that particular value, normally what you do is local storage dot delete, not delete item, remove item, and then you can say the username. Now it's gone. So we have set, we have read, and then we have deleted. So what do you mean by persisting the value even after the website is closed? So let's say you are logged into a website and then you have closed that particular website, right? And you have, like, I'm gonna remove the live server, and then if I go to the same website again, it will actually be there. So if you go to inspect and then the application tab, local storage, it's there. So that's what it means to be persisting the value even if the browser is closed later on. So this is not the same case for session storage. And one of the good thing about local storage is that we have access to 10 MB of storage. So 10 MB of storage is available for local storage, and then cookie only has like about 4 KB storage. And then the next one is session storage, right? So session storage has about 5 MB storage, I think. So 5 MB storage. So session storage is also same as like almost same as local storage, but the only issue is that once you close the browser or once you destroy the session, like it's gone. Like let's say you have logged into the website and then you have logged out and then the session is also destroyed with it. So how you can access the session storage is like you go to session storage dot set item, same thing, and then you're gonna say secret value. Okay, and then I'm gonna say okay, and then if you do console.log session storage dot get item secret value, you can see that particular value being printed over here. See, that value is there. Now if you do like you can remove the same thing by using session storage dot remove item, and then it will be removed, right? So if you go to application, and then if you go to session storage and then your website, no, okay, it's not there. I didn't show you the other first time. Okay, so secret value is there. So as you can see, there is also another value from the session storage. This is part of the live server plugin we are using, right? So this plugin is like setting a session storage value over here, saying that is this the first time log from live server. So it's basically the live server plugin is actually tracking of this particular tab is being the first time or not. That's it. So most of the plugins, most of the applications, everyone has a session storage value, which can be used for like tracking of what the user is facing and then what are the users supposed to see. And there are so many things like you will like when you as a developer as you progress you will use session storage like most of the time. So these are the 3 different ways you can actually use session storage in your application. So what does it mean to the session value being persistent? Like it's not being persistent after the browser tab is closed, right? So for now we have this particular secret value present with us as here, and then I'm gonna comment this out like this session setting value, and then save that particular code. And then the live server has updated it. Now if you close this particular tab and then open again, relay, open it in another tab, and then close this, you won't be able to see the session storage over here, right? So it's gone. So that's what it means. Like when the tab is closed, it's actually gone. So that's about it. Like that's how you can manage your storage in the browser. So in the next episode, we will look into how a Chrome browser can be used, and like what are the different tabs that you have access over here, like elements, console, source, applications, network, performance, and what are these. Like we will go through it one by one in a basic format, and then once you have it, we will move on to some of the advanced stuffs of JavaScript. So if you have your questions, drop them in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to keep up with the series, and see you next time.